Raise your hand if you're a parent. Okay. Think about the walls that you wouldn't walk through to fulfill the commitment you had made to your children, because at that moment, John's 2 daughters reminded him of a commitment he had made to them prior to leaving for Everest. You see, prior to leaving for Everest, he had promised his 2 daughters he would not die on Everest. He'd come back. He would climb with them. He would adventure with them. He would be with them. And while we were panicking, they were completely calm. They said, "Daddy, don't you forget your promise. We love you, and we want you to come home." And for the first time in 20 minutes, John McIsaac started to move. You could see him groping in the snow for his axe. He grabs his axe, he pushes down on it, he teeters to his feet, he takes a couple of steps, boom, falls down the snow. His girls come right back on the radio to him, "Daddy, we love you. When are you going to be home?" Now, we have all heard the words, "when are you going to be home?" but in that circumstance, they certainly had more presence and definitely more power. And it was almost like they reached down from that fathom in space, they grabbed their dad by the harness, they hauled him out of the snow, and ever so gently, they ushered him onwards. Because 6 hours after John McIsaac reached his high point, he crawled, quite literally crawled, back into our high camp at 26,000 feet, where he was met by our team physician, Dr. Dennis Brown, the chap on the left-hand side of the photograph. Now, we asked Dennis to quantify on a scale of 1 to 10 the severity of John's condition, 1 being fine and 10 being death. He said 9. So 30 seconds later, we did launch a full-blown highway to rescue. We slapped on emergency oxygen, we went up the hillside towards Johnny. We met at 26,000 feet, and we started to shepherd him down the north ridge of Everest, hour after hour after hour. And 4 hours into the rescue, John McIsaac fell unconscious. His pulse and breathing became erratic. He started to froth at the mouth as the liquid in his lungs started to bubble up into his mouth. We weren't sure whether he was alive or dead, but we decided to continue with the rescue anyway. So we did. We loaded him into a harness, into a sleeping bag, and we started to lower him down the North Col slope of Everest, hour after hour after hour. It took us 33 continuous hours. It was the hardest physical thing I have ever done by far. It was way more difficult than climbing Everest. In the end, most of us were, kind of staggering and stumbling. Some of us couldn't even speak. And we surrendered this limp form of a body we weren't sure was alive or dead to a team of physicians who had assembled our makeshift hospital and advanced base camp. They went to work on Johnny. I said goodnight to him at that time, and I said goodbye to him too. Because I was sure I would never see him alive again. But 4 hours later, the guy regained consciousness. He sat up, talked a little bit, and in a faint whisper, 2 days after we took that photograph, we took this photograph. And 2 days after we took that photograph, John McIsaac, a man who for sure had 1 foot and then some in a grave, walked under his own steam back to base camp.